Hi everyone, thank you for joining in for the third annual Ideamart Code Ultimatum 2016. This year, the whole hackathon is going to be different, and we'll be telling you what the difference is. And thanks a lot for all the viewers who have joined and viewing through us the YouTube channel. So without taking much time, let me start off with the program. My name is Shafraz Rahim, joining from Ideamart. Along with me, I have Tilina Viraj, also joining from Ideamart team. And from the other side of the team from Product Service Innovation, we have Umar Saibukandu joining in, Dilini, and Dimini, and also Tarindu joining in to explain to you and to walk through you through the whole new exciting competition and the platform that we have. So let me start off with the presentation. So Code Ultimatum 2016 Game of Codes. If you are a fan of Game of Thrones, you might find it find bit of familiar, because this year we have some setup to make it to have 4 different houses, etc. So let's see about the competition as well. Sorry for the technical delay. So now, the objective. Yeah. So to explain to you about the objective, enabling your cool and crazy ideas through developed platforms and devices. As you know, Ideamart has been a potential partner for your ideas to come alive. So that's what has been slogan, and we've been providing you the tools and the techniques which you can make use of to bring your ideas to a monetizing level. So the objective of make a hackathon has been explained, and what you have to use. Very simple things. You might find, okay, now there's a smart button, there's a Raspberry Pi, an IC visit engine, and etc. etc. So there are a few things which you are already familiar with, and there are things which you will learn through the hangout today itself. So the idea is to introduce you all those platforms and the devices that we have. Very cool stuff. This is the very first time that we are announcing about our smart button and the Raspberry Pi, which you can make use to enable your platforms or the service or the product that you are going to build. What do you have to build? Simple. Build widgets in you like, which solve a problem or create a need using our platforms, APIs, and devices. Very simple. In summary, if I could explain to you, is another revolutionary product which comes under Ideamart, which will enable you to create or to connect anything and everything and provide services. Let me give you an example. Now, if you forget to switch on or switch off your light at home, what you can do is basically you can connect your smart devices to the platform and you can control it. And also at the same time, if you forget to pay your dialog TV bill, or if you forget to pay any sort of bill, what if you can make use of your mobile phone and to get that alert that you can do no matter what your product is or the device that you're using. So we have provided you a platform where you can connect anything and everything, so that you can build lifestyle services for people who are struggling and people who are in need of such solutions. So what do you have to build? So this is what you need to build. I'll explain to you what is a widget and what's you in a later slide. What you'll get. We are hoping to give out all the teams who will be selecting, who will get selected in the selection round. We will be selecting around 12 teams for the finale. Once you upload your ideas, we'll be selecting 12 teams, and we'll give this access, or we'll give the resources for you to use. So we are planning to give 3 smart buttons, 1 Raspberry Pi with a charger and SD card. The SDK's user guides and documentations will be available to all the developers to play around with. Access to and Idea of Things websites, and access to IDAB APIs as well. So how all these stuff are connected? So now you might be thinking, okay, Shafraz mentioned about he mentioned about smart button, and he mentioned about Raspberry Pi as well. So how these things can be connected? So now you all are familiar with either of the language. It could be Java, PHP, Node.js, or Python, or it could be any of the languages. So what you can do is, what you'll be building here is, now say for an example, you might have built an application where you start straight connect and talking to a Arduino or Raspberry Pi straight. But you might not have an SDK, or you might not have an interface in between. What we can provide you is that, and make simpler for people to use your application. So in between, what we have is a communication layer. If you have your third-party applications, or not the application devices, what you can do is you can connect it to the communication layer. For the moment, whatever the devices which we'll be providing from our end, we'll be provisioning with the communication layer. And if you have a third-party device, such as it could be a smart band, it could be a smart wearable, anything, everything, you can connect it through the communication layer with, despite the brand or the other dependencies. So these are the cool three the platforms that you'll have to make use. I'll show a demo version of the platform in a while. IdeaBiz, you guys are mostly familiar with. So this is the corporate API management platform of Ideamart. So IdeaBiz, we have exposed the connected devices APIs, where you can talk to your devices through the communication layer. And also we have the API as well, where you can talk to the services which you have created inside along with the API management platform. So we give you an API access to an API management platform, and also to other two platform as well, and Idea of Things. Now this is also very important. Now if you take Ideamart, what we have done is, now if you go and build an application and you provision it, and you get it approved from admin's end, and what you do is you will publish that into allapps.lk. So that's our app store, right? So idea of things works like the Ideamart's provisioning part, where you can fill up a form and say, hey, look, this is the service that I'm going to build, this is the endpoint, and the I say you do will be the app store kind of thing. But instead of having applications, we have here something called widgets. Okay, these things people can access through website, and they can insert a few information and they just can have it. They don't have to download it in your phone, into their phone, or to send a message and get it activated. Not a problem at all. Just filling up a form from the customer's end, so that they can use. So in a nutshell, I say you do is the widget widget store, and idea of things is where you build and publish services for this competition. So in between, to make the what we call make the API calls easier, we have IdeaBiz in between. So from the communication layer, you'll be talking to IdeaBiz through connected devices API, and I say you to talk to the I say you do widgets, etc. You have the I say you do API as well exposed through IdeaBiz, and you have the connectivity from IdeaBiz to your application, where you can consume any type of API which has been listed there. We will provide necessary access to it. And idea of things where you will be publishing the endpoint of your application, so that when a customer enters the details or take an action, when someone click a button and say, look, I want to turn off my light, which means that your application will detect it. Actually, the I say you do will detect it, and will talk to idea of things. So idea of things will have the provision URL, etc. that will talk to your application and get back the results as well. Okay, so the judging criteria, very important. Concept, creativity, design. This is the thing, ladies and gentlemen, this is the thing. You guys can have your very own ideas, the usual stuff which we used to do, as in without using I say you do or any of the devices. You can have your ideas as well, not a problem. But at the same time, we'll be giving more weightage for people, or for the ideas. When the judging comes, we'll be selecting all the ideas, the best ones we'll be selecting, whether they use I say you do or smart button or whatever that they are going to use. And also we'll be using we'll be selecting the ones who hasn't used makers of any of these, but still we see as a potential. So this is the judging criteria, not a problem. Just submit your ideas, but we'll be giving you marks based on these criteria. So what we'll do is, after the session, we'll be posting up this particular judging criteria into social media, so you can have a look there. Rules and regulations. Judges' decision will be final, as always. Judges' decision will be final. Need to hand over the device after the hackathon. That's obvious. This is not required because we have already announced the whole system to you. So these are the dates that you need to remember. So please keep in mind, these dates are in November, not October, because October is already over. These days needs to be in November. So the pre-hack is happening today, 8th of November, and you'll have to submit your ideas by 15th of November, and by 16th of November we'll inform in the selected teams, which will be 12 teams. There's a reason, I'll tell you that as well. 19th to 20th October is the hackathon, which is happening at Dialog Head Office Auditorium from 5 p.m. onwards till next day 2 p.m. So the reason to have 12 teams is that because we want to break it down into 4 main houses, where we'll have competition in between, and you will be working together as teams, and you will be working as a when it comes to the group activities, you'll be supporting us as a house, but you will be competing each other to build the best service or the best product. And after that, you'll be pitching it to the judges. There will be 2 judging rounds. First round, each judge will be encouraged to pick and choose at least one. The teams needs to be selected, at least one team from each house. But if the judges see that okay, one house doesn't have a potential one, but another team has 2 or more, that's up to judges to decide, because that's their final decision. And we'll be teaming it up with the Game of Thrones teams. So we'll have different houses, more towards technical. We'll not be using the same slogans and same icons or the logos that we have in Game of Thrones, but something related to the codes. Prizes, I know that you all want to know about this. So the winner will get 125,000 rupees of cash prize, an opportunity to fly to Global Mobile Congress in 2017, which is happening in Spain, Barcelona. We just got to know about it just a little while ago. That will be sponsored by Global Mobile, the GSMA, the official association for GSM operators. The first runners-up will get 100,000 cash prize. Second runners-up 50,000 cash prize, and also everyone will get an opportunity to be a part of GSMA Ecosystem Accelerator program. So this has been huge and been working a lot in most of the continents across the world to bring best ideas based on telco. This is going to be a big opportunity for everyone to have a conversation with the GSM Ecosystem Accelerator program members who will be joining us through online, so you can make use of this opportunity. Yeah. So now from here onwards, Demini, who is in the other side, will be joining in from the other side. So let me get her back online. What?
Hi. Hello, I'm Demini. So I'm going to explain you about chakras. Okay. Chakras, is it okay now?
Demini, give me a minute.
OBD, what happened to OBD?
Hi guys, sorry for the delay. So we are joining back again, and Demini will explain to you about the coolest thing ever, the smart button and the Raspberry Pi. Get Demini back. Demini, you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shafi, can you please?
Share the, yeah, I'll be sharing. Hold on, give me a minute.
Okay, hi, I'm Devani. I'm going to explain you about what is the Dialog Smart Button, how you can use the Dialog Smart Button for your applications, and how you can use the Raspberry Pi with our development platforms to your applications. So moving on to the next slide.
Demini, give me a minute.
Okay.
Make it full screen.
Okay. Shafi, is it okay? Okay, welcome back again. Next slide. So Dialog Smart Button, it's just a push button, wireless push button, and when you push the button, it triggers an event such as an SMS or email or any kind of event. So it's a Wi-Fi connected device, and it can be configured to your home Wi-Fi. And for example, as Shafras told you, uh, you can use it for like ordering food goods, like order a taxi, and for alerting. These are the some small examples. And but the thing is, how you can use this smart button. No, previous slide. How you can use the uh, button as a developer. Uh, for the developer, uh, you can create any uh, application, and you can trigger that application in a button press. From our dialog, uh, Shafi, next slide, please. Uh, so what you have to do is, first you have to configure the button to your home SSID, and then you have to get Ideamart hosting space and create your application in there, and you have to uh, get subscribe to the IDAB's API name dialog connected devices. I will be explaining it later. And from several parameters like serial number, auth code, and with your callback URL, you can provision that callback URL in our in our dialog backend. So once you press the button, uh, yeah, it will pass the button trigger to the dialog backends, and then it pass to the trigger to IDABase and to your application. So that's how it works. And moving on to next slide, this is how you are going to configure the button to your home SSID. We will be giving you an mobile app, and we will provide you the APK in the hackathon. And first you have to connect to your uh, connect to your home SSID. That means you have to give the SSID and the password, and then the button. You have to long press the button, and once you long press the button, you will hear a beep. Once you hear the beep sound, you have to press the connect as in the second figure. What happens is like the button will expose an Wi-Fi hotspot named Smart Button, and this and your mobile app will connect this hotspot to your home Wi-Fi. Once you configure, uh, once you finish the successfully finishing configure the button, that means your button is configured to your home SSID. So usually the button is in the sleep mode, and once you press the button, it awakes and pass the button trigger event to the to our dialog backend through your home Wi-Fi. So in the next slide is the Ideabase API. So you have to create an account in Ideabase and then create a and then you have to subscribe to the Ideabase API named Dialog Connected Devices version 1. This is the only one API available to access the dialog button. So once you subscribed, you have to get the approval, and once you get the approval, there are several parameters like access token and refresh tokens, and then once you're subscribed, you can use this API to provision the callback URL. So you need 4 parameters, as I said earlier: serial number, auth code, and callback URL. The serial number is printed on the button that is given to you, and we will be giving you the auth codes, the relevant auth codes. Yeah, auth codes, and the callback URL means your application URL and Ideamart hosting space. Currently, we will be giving you the access to only to Ideamart hosting space, and the event should be pressed, not anything like OK and done, and it should be pressed. And in the next slide, this is an example. The URL should be your URL should be the Ideabase API call dialog connected devices, and this is a common URL, and the specialty is the word process. Same URL will be using in the Raspberry Pi. Uh, uh, Sorry, it should be it should be rules, not the process, and as given in the example, you have to give the serial number, auth codes, and everything. And in the next slide, we have the sample response. If you have successfully provisioned the URL to a dialog backends, you will get a successfully added message. And if you once you provision a URL, and if you want to change the URL, you have to let us know to change that. So next. Okay, the Raspberry Pi. I think all of you know about what is a Raspberry Pi, and I'm not going to explain what is a Raspberry Pi and how you can use that. I'm going in the next slide. Shafi, can you? Okay. Uh, so I'm going to explain how you use. We have implemented a SDK uh, that is for Raspberry Pi. That is compatible with Raspberry Pi 2B plus and above, and you can use this SDK to control the GPIO ports and through your application. And this SDK is merely a communication channel with the Raspberry Pi and now dialog platforms. And as in the previous smart button thing, here in the Raspberry Pi also you have to use the IDAB API name dialog connected devices, the same API we use in smart button to control the GPIO ports and control the Raspberry Pi. So as in the as similar to the smart button, we have to place your apps in the dialog hosting space, and you can this SDK is editable, and you can edit it. As I told you earlier, it is just an communication channel. So in the next slide, these are the basic capabilities of our SDK. As you all know, uh, the Raspberry Pi has only digital ports, that means GPIO ports. Uh, you can make simply a pin, you can make a pin high or low and get the output pin status. That means if to get the status of a bulb and get the input from a pin and get an interrupt. That means if you provision an any ports as an interrupt and provision a URL to that interrupt port. If the Raspberry Pi detects any interrupt, your application will be called. And also, you know that Raspberry Pi do not have any. So we have defined some logical ports, 8 logical ports. That means 4 input logical ports and 4 output logical ports. So you can edit the SDK such that you assign the values to these logical ports and pass it to the APIs. And you can use ADCs, Arduino, and anything. And you have to, uh, I mean, you should not. I'm not telling that you should use only these ports. You can use these logical ports if you need, like sensor parameters like temperature and water level and so on. And in the next slide, to use this SDK, we will be giving you the SDK for the hackathon, and for the basic requirements are you have to install Raspberry OS and you have to install Python MQT library. And for the Raspberry Pi is giving you, we'll be installing these things, and you have to set up and run the SDK. Everything instructions for to run the SDK will be giving you in the user manual. And if you are editing the SDK, you have to understand the basic communication structure of the SDK. And as similar to the dialog smart button, you have to subscribe to the IDAB API, dialog connected devices, and provision your app URL and play with the Raspberry Pi using your app. In the next slide, okay, as I told you earlier, we have one application, but we have three URLs, three different URLs, and it differentiate with the last word: process, rules, and status. This process is used for actions, and rules will be using to provision a URL. That means it's similar to the smart button. Once you provision a URL to a smart button, you provision it with the URL given as rules. And next thing is status. That will be discussed later. And in the next slide, these are the four different things you can do with this URL. Although the URL is same, the the actions will be different with the body. More descriptive a more descriptive one will be given in the user manual. And slide how you use the status. That means to use the status means to get the output pin status only. Rules URL is used only to provision an URL for an interrupt, as similar to the button. So it's like if you have connected a push button to one of the port, and if there's a level trigger, like a level trigger, it will give an interrupt call to a URL. So in the hackathon, we will be giving you the Pi serial number and the auth codes. That means you see in the board message body, you need this Raspberry Pi serial number and auth codes. And for all the ports, you have to use two digits as the serial. Slide. This is the basic request structure, and that means in our SDK, what we do is we send the messages via MQTT product backends. So number and then the action type. So we have defined 7 actions, like get first one is get number of ports, and 2 make pin high or low, and so on. Everything is given in the user manual. If you want to the SDK, you have to understand this request structure to edit the SDK. So that's all about Raspberry Pi and the smart button. Shafraz?
Hi guys, thank you Demini, thank you for that very descriptive introduction. So now it's time for me to take over back the session, and the idea is to introduce you I say you do platform and how it looks, to give you the first ever look of I say you do, how it looks, etc. So let me guide you through the presentation slide before that. So yes, let me put that up first. So I say you do. Yeah. So I say you do is the widget creation environment that we have. Example. Now forget about a widget. Example would be now you might be creating a weather service. So we have a few of the developers who have joined already here, who are making use of the weather services that they have built. So what they can do is simply they can give us an endpoint to their service through this widget engine or the ICU platform. What happens is that simply a person could say, okay, my number is this, and I want to receive weather alerts. So it will talk from our platform. What happens is that it will talk to your service and get the required responses back. So the communication happens with the system, and the particular service of yours will be the JSON format. So please keep that in mind if you are building some sort of service to receive or to send back a request or a response, to make sure you have a mechanism to send or receive JSON based requests and responses. So the widgets will look like this. So far we have top jobs, DTV, BBC, ESPN, etc. So in a little while I'll show you a few of I'll actually log into the system and show you, and after the session we'll give you the access to it as well to see the widget engine. The idea of things or the place where you need to go and publish your services, we'll send you separate and a login as well for that separately. So the widgets will look like this. And moving on, so we are in the in sequence. Now if you take a widget, there will be two things most important will be happening, the in sequence and the out sequence. In as in the input that you'll be getting from a particular customer, or it could be from a device, or it could be from a customer's location, or any sort of parameter that you are getting, as in the in that you are getting from the user. The out sequence, to explain about the out sequence is the place here you'll be, what's the action that you're going to take. So the example which I have shown you here is about sending you a particular SMS. So yeah, I'm going back, give me a minute. Okay, so so here what happens is that you can it could be a SMS that you are sending out, it could be some sort of an action happening to another device, or it could be sending out an email, or some sort of an action. Is out sequence is some sort of an action that's going to take place where you can map it up. Already we have services to map it up, it SMS and email, and if you want to plug in your devices as well for an out sequence, that also can be done. So now moving on to idea of things where you'll be publishing your services or telling us these are the inputs, and creating all these nice looking widgets in ICU platform happens in idea of things place. So let's go there. So allows you to connect ICU to your personal DIY project. With idea of things, you can connect recipe to any device or service that can receive a web request or REST. So now you saw if a consumer comes to, or a customer comes to, for any person who comes to ICU platform, a bunch of widgets. They go to a bunch of widgets, they'll click on a widget, and they'll start creating something called recipe. Simply keep this in mind. Widget plus widget is equals to a recipe. Okay, widget plus widget is equal to a recipe. So to create all these widgets is where we are using idea of things. So you saw the nice little interface that we have here, and from here you can go to the recipe creation part. When you create a recipe, as in a user will be creating a recipe. Example, one developer's weather widget is being used by a user. Okay, so the out sequence, in sequence is he's giving all the inputs about the mobile number, the dates that he want to receive, or it could be a location that he wants to particular receive on. So that will be locating from by using our LBS. So now that service is there, and plus we have incorporated the out sequence. Out sequence is to send out a SMS, or to switch on the light, or turn down the turn off the AC. Okay, so now once you create a recipe, widget plus widget equals recipe, it will talk to the ICU servers, and from there what we'll do is, now since you have mentioned about the endpoint which we need to talk to, what we'll do is from ICU server to your developer server. To developer server, we'll be providing you Ideamart servers, so you can the where you have hosted your application. So from there, we'll be talking to your servers, and from there you will be from there you can send out a response back to us as well. Okay, so you can save the details, process it, and send it back to ICU, and call recipe in sequence execution criteria is met. And again, you can talk to another developer server if you want to, and send out to SMS. And in terms of sending out SMS, already that has been implemented from our end, so it's just a matter of plugging that into your system. Moving on, let's create a simple in sequence. So now this is a pictorial representation. We are just going to show you a few screenshots, because we have to share you the URL for you to play around with. So you create a test widget and test sequence description. This is about giving the details about your service, and then status to, you can add a nice logo to your service. And from there, in the second one, here's where the most important thing is. Here's where you will be showcasing, or you'll be adding your in endpoint and delete endpoint. The in endpoint and delete endpoint is where you actually give the service to users of ICU platform, and from there we have a delete as well, because delete will be important for us to make use of that. And also there's a auth implementation. If you want to have that, you can have auth implementation as well in the system itself. So now what I'm showing you is the receivers endpoint JSON format. This is a very simple one that you all can identify receivers. And so this is this can be, and this is the delete endpoint, or the JSON format of the delete endpoint. So these are exemplary request and actually the receivers JSON formats that we have mentioned. Moving on, we have so now we have created the service, we have mapped out the service, but the thing is, the thing is, now you might have seen there are elements to it, right? You had nice maps, and it could have different sort of text fields. So you can define it from here, the creation of the in sequence, which will be have mentioned in the document how to use the elements by using this format. Everything will be in JSON format. And mapping the UI elements, this also we have mentioned. So here we have mentioned how a heading can happen, how a label can be put on, and also a text field as well. The example shows how those things are being mapped. Because for in sequence execution, this is the format. And yeah, so these are very easy ones that you can run through. So yeah, so now before moving on to the Q&A, let me show you the first view of I say you do. The once you create the widgets, how it will be. Yeah. So we'll be sharing you the credential also separately. So now let me go to window, and here I'll be pasting. It says projectx.dialog.lk/staging, and I'll be clicking on the URL because I have already. Oh, okay, let me go to a incognito window and type project x.dialog.lk/staging, and I go there, and this should prompt me. Yeah, once you go there, you'll be prompt to enter a username and a password. Once you that username and the password also will be providing you. Once you enter these details, you will see that okay, this is the first view of I say you do the widget creation environment. So these are widgets created, and there are few widgets which has been created by some of our developers. So we have one widget for booking a taxi, a panic button by Sanjeeva, booking a taxi by Sanjeeva, and we have Ride Me Home by Charit and the team. Genesis team created a garbage collection one, and smart home Guru Para hackathons.lk again from we have from Samat from Surf Edge team, and we have appointments from one team from University of Moratuwa. So we have a lot of widgets already been created. So let me show you. First, initially what you need to do, if a customer comes, they have to log in. To log in, you'll be using the mobile connect. Since I have already logged in, it'll ask for my credential, and I'll say yes and send it from mobile number. Once I've logged in, I will be able to check out all those, go inside of now example. Let me go to the CNN widget, and from there I can filter details. So we are in a process of putting what we call monetizing the widgets at the moment. So for here, let me type Ideamart, maybe, yeah, CNN, and then we create it. It's getting created. Yeah, so now we have SMS and email. If you use SMS at this point, you won't get charged, but if you use email, the 2 rupees will be charged. But you can decide on how the mechanism, how the SMS, how you want to charge it also when you are doing the mapping of in sequence, and also when you are mentioning about the out sequence as well. So let me go to SMS. Yeah. So to which number do I need to send SMS to? I'll mention my number, and then from here I can customize accordingly. CNN is if I want to say CNN News, CNN News. Plus you can mention anything and just say it okay. And yeah, now recipe has been created. And if I go to the recipe section of mine, it will show me. So these are the recipes that have been created. So this is the storefront or the widget front for the consumers. Similarly, once you publish your widgets in the hackathon, what we'll do is we'll check out the details and approve it. Once that has been approved, that will be showcased here and it will show me the activated ones, the disabled ones. So pretty cool stuff. So this is the first ever look at I Say You Do, the widget changing environment, which you'll be exposed to. So with that, I'll be handing over the session back to Tharindu, who will be talking to you about, explain about the IDAB APIs for the connected devices and also the I Say You Do API to talk to widgets and get to information, etc. from your application itself. So Tharindu, let me welcome you to the stage, to the hangout, and let me get you live.
Moving on to the next slide. Hi, I'm Tharinu. I'm here to learn about what's the IdeaBase and how it's work. IdeaBase is a API management platform. To use the above mentions APIs, you have to use the IdeaBase. With simple Google search, or you can find IdeaBase, or you can directly go to the http www.ideabase.lk/store. So this is the home page you will get. First, what you have to do is you have to sign up. Moving into the next slide. Here you have to give your username and the password and the email address. Then you have to press the moving on to the next slide. Then after giving those details, you have to press the submit button. Moving on to the next slide, please. Yeah, then after that you have to log in. Just press the login button and after giving the usernames and password. Moving on to the next slide, please. Yeah, so this is the APIs that you will see after you log in. Then before you subscribe to a particular API, what you have to do is you have to create an application. So you have to go to the application, my application tab. So moving on to the next slide, please. Yes, then you have to use the application name, callback URL, and descriptions, and you have to press add button. Moving into the next slide, please. Yeah, after giving those details, what you have to do is you have to press the add button. Moving on to the next slide. Yeah, after you have pressed that button, you can see at the bottom of the page you have created your app Malin, the test app. So it is now has been at the active state. Then after that, after you have created the application, you have to inform our team to accept the application request from our dialog backend. So we will accept it. Then you can proceed further. Then these are the APIs that subscribe in this competition. I say you do 1.0. First, what you have to do is you have to select the applications and you have to press subscribe. So moving on to the next slide. So after the press submit button, you got this window. Then it's mean that your subscription has been successful. So and then after the subscription to a particular API, you have to inform the dialog team so we can accept your request from our dialog backend. This is another API that you have to subscribe to. Same as that, you have to select the application and press the submit button. Moving on to the next slide, please. Then after that, to access those APIs, that means to send request, to send actual request, what we have to do is we have to go to the my subscription tab and use the select the particular app and use the generate button to generate the access tokens and refresh tokens. moving on to the next slide. After generating these access tokens, you can use those access tokens to request those APIs and call those APIs. Then moving on to the next slide. That you can go inside there and you can give the usernames and relevant password and press the generate button to generate the access token, refresh token, consumer key, and consumer secret. These will be needed when you are using an app. And yes, that's all. Thank you. Let's give the mic to the Safras.
Hi guys. Hello. Hi everyone. Hello.
Hello, Shopee.
Yeah. Dimini, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now what we are going to do is to quickly give you a few use cases of how I say you do can be used. Example, now this is about getting you guys to think on different lines and to come up with different sort of ideas. So already we have had ideas where you press a button and you order a pick me or an Uber, and we had ideas where you talk to a restaurant assistant and if you there are problems like this. Example, if you go to a high-end restaurant or day-to-day coffee shop, what you would see is you will have to call the waiter and say, hey, come here, take our bill, and bring us the bill or take our order. Sometimes they might take a lot of time, and sometimes it's annoying to see people just standing next to you when they are not required. So in a situation like that, they can click a button and say, hey, look, come and give us the menu and take our order, etc. So that's also there. And we already do have to sort of inform when garbage collecting truck is leaving to sort of similar ideas. So what we would and also one more thing is that home automation is already available. So what you can think of is in different lines, and again, to encourage for you guys is that you can use the ones that we have mentioned here, where you will get more marks to it if you have used those, meaningful usage of those. And if you're going through the normal route, which we already anyways use in different hackathons, just by applying to our hackathon also, if those ideas also great, we'll definitely will be getting those ideas and accommodating them at the hackathon, which is happening on 19th and 20th of November 2016. So a great place to go and check out new ideas. YouTube, if you go and check out for DIY projects of RPi, or you can check out sort of Kickstarter projects as well to get an idea, not to steal the whole concept, but to get an idea how things are working, so you can be a part of it and definitely come up with good ideas and think about the normal problems that you face on a daily basis and how such a situation can solve a problem is what we want from you guys. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of ideas popping into your mind at the moment, what you can do through I say you do, where we have provided a platform people to make their lifestyle very easy and to automate what needs to happen on a which happens on a regular basis. Example, if someone comes near to a supermarket, if he can send out and say, hey, look, your mom asks you to bring a milk packet of milk, don't forget that. And if he can map it up with a smart band, and another doctor who has a different service in Ideamart or ICU or wherever, they can give consultation according to the number of steps that they have taken, the calorie that they have burnt. So you can do wonders with the system. So this is not only something SMS based only, not only telco based APIs. You can think about different sort of APIs, different sort of mashing ups, and get you guys to develop and develop new services. So that's all from us. So to wrap it up, there's a slide that we want to share with you. This is the slide. Give me a minute. Let me share the screen. Get started. So these are the things that you require. Definitely, I'll be sharing this this slide with our with all the developers, and I'll post up a link as well here and down below the description, so you can download it simply. We'll send you the login URLs, passwords, etc. Definitely, we'll do that. Request for a hosting space. If you have a hosting space, please do request. You can make use of that hosting space. If not, please do request for a hosting space where you can mention about the mobile number, what we call the mobile number, the language that you're going to develop, and also name for the database. Definitely, please do use some APIs much as possible. Ideamart APIs. Definitely use much as possible, so you will have more interaction with the customer, not only dialogue with Hutch as well. Create an account in IDAB, send your username, so we can enable the APIs, ICU to API and the connected device API, mobile number, and submit your idea. That's a bit.ly URL that we have, bit.ly Code Ultimatum 2016. You will have to submit issues, suggestions, queries if you have any through the Google form that we have mentioned over here. So quickly, let me go back to the dates which I mentioned before. So it is not October, that's November, and that's going to mark the final hackathon for the year from Ideamart 10. So keep in mind, today is 8th of November, 15th of November, you'll have submit your idea, and within one day we'll be informing the selected teams, which are the 12 teams. You can start building your projects. We don't want you to come there itself and start developing, but you can start developing now itself. And 19th and 20th November we'll have the main hackathon, which will be with the theme of game of codes, and we are hoping to have a lot of fun with you guys, and also at the same time to generate a lot of great products and services for the country and maybe to the outside of the world as well. So with that note, we would like to conclude, and thanks a lot for staying 1 hour and nearly 20 minutes with us, and asking a lot of questions. And to answer questions, we had Tilna, Viraj, Umar, and Dilni supporting and answering the question, a lot of questions. And I think the guys also had fun there. So if you have any questions, please do come and post it up in Ideamart group, so we can help you out. So if you miss this session, we'll be posting the Google Hangout for you to check out on a later date, but you don't have much time to think about your ideas and to submit. And with that note, all the very best for the competition, and we are looking forward for some cool and crazy ideas from the developers, the coolest developer set in Sri Lanka. Thank you.